Hi, and welcome back for our third and final video lesson of the week. Today we're going to wrap up Benchmark 1 by talking briefly about the skin. So our Benchmark 1 learning targets for today are to describe the functions of our skin and to be able to label and identify layers of the skin. And again, if you want to do the warm-up or just ask yourself, do you remember where you would find smooth muscle in the body, you can do that as a quick check or go back and look in yesterday's video lesson. So this is a cross-section of human skin. And your labeling activity is going to have a diagram very similar to this. There are a lot of different diagrams out there on the web. And your skin, sometimes called the integumentary system, is actually the largest organ in the human body. And it's constantly replacing itself. And it's pretty complex. There are lots of different layers. And after this slideshow, I'm going to show you where you can actually go in and read some pages out of the text, because your skin is actually pretty important for your body to keep homeostasis. And if you still don't know what the word homeostasis means, you're going to want to check that out today. So there are different layers of your skin. There's three main levels of your skin. The outermost layer is called the epidermis. Epi means top. Then we have the dermis, and then subcutaneous tissue. There are lots of different layers within these that we don't necessarily need to know about. There's dead skin cell tissues that are constantly being sloughed off. There's a layer where new skin cells are constantly being made. Then we have this deeper layer of skin, and look at all the stuff in this layer of the dermis. There's a lot going on. So you can see the red and the blue lines. Those are different blood vessels. We have capillaries that bring blood very close to the surface of the skin. And this actually helps us to regulate body temperature. These capillaries can open and get bigger and allow blood flow to the surface of the skin. They can even constrict and try to conserve heat by not allowing as much blood to flow. If you've ever been embarrassed and had your cheeks turn red, you had a lot of blood flow to your cheeks. So we have different capillaries, and then you can see the capillaries actually connect to even deeper arteries and veins. And so they're fairly close to the surface. I mean, I'm sure you've gotten a cut or a nick on your skin and it bleeds fairly easily. There's other parts, like for instance, the bottom of your foot. The epidermis is incredibly thick, and it would take a lot for you to break the skin and have an open cut or wound bleed on the bottom of your foot compared to, let's say, the tip of your finger. All right, so what else do we have in the dermis? We've got muscles that actually attach to the hairs. You've, I'm sure, gotten goosebumps before and know that your hair can actually stand up on end. They're little tiny muscles right here attached to the hair follicle, and your hair follicle is this whole area right here, and then this is the actual hair shaft itself, and there's blood flow to that as well. There are a lot of different connective tissues in here, like collagen and elastin, that give our skin its elastic properties. There are sweat glands, and they usually come out at your pores. And I noticed that pores weren't labeled in this diagram, but we do have openings in our skin called pores. And then the very, very lowest layer down here, these little yellow ball-looking things, is actually fat tissue. And that's mostly for cushioning. So your activities today are going to include a couple things. If you haven't yet done a labeling activity and you'd like to do your labeling for the skin today, there is an online version of that, but I'm going to encourage you to do the coloring sheet if you are able. So I have a really cool coloring sheet from an anatomy workbook, and all you need to do is print it and grab some colored pencils or crayons. And in the meantime, there's all kinds of lessons in Crash Course that will help you review, and one for skin. So let me go out to my Google Drive and see if this loaded. Ah, yes, perfect. So I've taken some pictures of some pages out of our textbook, and I'd really like you to read about the skin, especially before you do today's journal entry to wrap up the week. So you can see there are a few pages about skin. This is going to help you understand how skin helps to regulate our body's homeostasis. So let's check out what we've got in Echo. We've got option C, layers of the skin. All right, so here's the coloring sheet. I'm hoping it loads pretty quick here. This is a page out of a really cool coloring book. And my internet's being really slow because I'm uploading videos today. But I think I can show it to you from the slideshow, actually. I have a picture of what it looks like. Yeah, this is what it looks like when it's colored. It's pretty cool. It goes through all the different parts that we were just talking about. If you can print that out, that's right here. If you can't, I have a labeling worksheet. It's a little bit simpler. It gives you a diagram, very basic, some blanks, and a word bank. You can do that for grade if you would so choose. And then one more online activity to label the parts of the cell. So, I'm sorry, parts of the skin. So you just click play. It says motor nerve fibers. Oh, this one's gonna get me. I think it's right here. Ow, darn it. So this one's a little bit higher level than what we're studying, but that's okay. It doesn't hurt to learn new things. You can screenshot this if you want, and you can turn in a screenshot here, or you can just use that to play around with. So there's one more thing to do. Once you've decided which labeling activity you want to do, to end the week, we're going to have a journal response. This is about skin and homeostasis. So make sure you watch this video lesson in its entirety. You should definitely read the pages out of the book and maybe go back and play the game. You're going to answer the question, very simple question, how does the skin assist with keeping the body in homeostasis? So if you're still going, oh, she keeps saying that word, homeostasis, what does that mean? You need to go and find out what that word means. You can type in your journal response here, and then you have wrapped up week 1. It's awesome. You're done with week 1 in benchmark 1. So just to recap, we've gone through the slides, skeleton video, muscle video. This is the layers of the skin video. And then if you have any questions about anything, we can talk about it at this week's Zoom meeting, which is on Thursday at 10:30 a.m. And you can find the link in the agenda. So that's all for today. Hopefully you guys have fun doing one of the activities on the skin labeling. And if you are bored and want to check out these crash course, you guys know how much I like the crash course videos. There's 2 on bones, 2 on muscles, and 1 really good one on skin. So I will see you guys at the Zoom meeting this week. Till then,